Every director has had this exact same nightmare before. You're on set, and anything that can go wrong is going wrong. You're behind schedule, the actors aren't cooperating, and the crew is facing every single technical difficulty known to mankind. In fact, this nightmare is so common that in 1995, a wonderful movie called Living in Oblivion with Steve Buscemi came out that tackles this very occurrence. And let me tell you something, as a director, it is one of the most relatable films I've ever seen. So we've all been there before. It's the night before a big shoot and you've got those preset jitters. Well, I hope today I can help ease your nerves a little bit by going over 5 ways you can improve your directing today. One of the most basic ways that you can plan your shot list out is by shooting for coverage. For those unfamiliar with the term, coverage is referring to your basic set of shots like your master wide shot, as well as your mediums and your close-ups of the talent. And why, yes, in some instances, this is definitely going to pull you out of the fire when it comes to editing, and having as much coverage as possible can definitely be a great thing. There are some issues with it in that if you always use the most basic and simple approach to shooting your movie, you're always going to get the same cookie cutter results. Everything in any movie has to serve the story, and this includes where you place and move the camera in your scenes. And now, while you may need to get some of those basic shots out of the way, you may be wasting valuable time on set if the only thing that you do is run excessive long takes from every single angle to get your coverage. Think about the edit. Are you really going to want to cut to a wide shot during one of the most intimate and emotional moments with one of your actors? Well, I guess it depends what you're really going for narratively, but in most cases, the honest answer is probably not. So think about the space that you're in and what ways can you direct your DP to get a better coverage of a specific moment that focuses more on emotion and meaning and what narrative thing that you're trying to convey within the shot. Don't be the director who tells an actor to dial their energy up or bring their energy down. These are people here that we're talking about, not semiconductors. And an actor thrives best, not when they're only playing the character, but when that actor becomes the character. Oftentimes, directors absolutely dread the common question they get from actors of, "What's my motivation?" But see, here's the thing. You should know the answer to this question. As a director, it's your job to share your vision to help tell this story. So when somebody asks you, what's my motivation in the scene, give that actor something to do, something that could be a playable note. So let's take that example of maybe you have an actor who's overacting the scene a little bit and you want them to bring that energy back down a lot for more subtlety and emotional cues. Well, instead of saying bring the energy down, you could try saying something instead like you are trying to hide your true feelings from the other person in the scene. That in by default now gives the actor something to do, and that something to do is going to help them try to suppress that emotion, which in turn is going to lead to a better and more subtle and believable performance, closer to what you're probably looking for when you're asking them to bring the energy down. I can give a very tangible example of myself using playable notes when I was directing In the Hands of Fate. During one of the rehearsals that I was running with Adam Joseph Turner and Stephen Shanti for a scene that I really wanted to have a lot of tension to it, I liked what they were doing in the first take. I thought it was really good in that rehearsal. But I also knew that actors of that talent and that magnitude and that caliber could really even go further than that. Make this scene so tense that you could cut the rope with a paper clip. Okay? Now, did I tell Adam and Steve to, hey guys, I need you to make this scene more tense? No, what does that even mean? I mean, if I'm an actor and I hear that, I mean, what do I do with that, right? So here's what I say instead. I say, okay, that was great, but let's try it this way. Imagine that you two are playing a game of poker. You're both bluffing, but you don't want the other to know your hand. Boom. They crushed it. And when I'll tell you that that scene in the movie is
beautiful,
you better believe it. I often like to tell people that as a director, I want to be firm yet fair. Okay, but what does that mean? Well, as a director, there's a very, very fine balancing act that you have to pull off between knowing what you want, but also being open to advice and collaboration from the other people on your set. Okay, so there are two types of people that make just horrible directors, okay? And they're polar opposites of each other too. So the first person that just absolutely sucks at directing is somebody who is completely tunnel visioned and so cocky and so overconfident in themselves that they not only don't welcome the advice and opinions of others on their set, but they'll go so far as to scold these people for how dare you have an opinion that's different than my vision, right? They'll tell these people, don't ask questions. Just do what I say. They bark orders at people. The second type of person that just makes a horrible director is the exact opposite. Instead of being overconfident in they don't know what the hell they want. Okay? One of the worst things that you can say on set if somebody asks you, hey, what are we doing next? Is, oh, well, I don't know. You don't know? Look, if you don't know, you're not a director, okay? So this firm yet fair that I'm talking about is this balancing act of, yes, you do want to ask people for their opinions and for their advice, but at the same time, you don't want people to just walk all over you, right? You don't want to be that guy that's not going to listen to anybody, but you don't want to be the guy that's a doormat. You need to be firm yet fair. Okay, do you want to know what the shot is going to look like on screen when you're filming a movie? Yeah, I mean, of course you do. I mean, that's the final product, right? You're going to be watching it on, a big screen or a TV or, whatever the medium may be. So yes, you want to see what the shot looks like. But at the same time, you aren't really doing much directing if you're hiding so far away from your actors in a video village, watching everything on a monitor, and the most directing that you do is calling out action and cut on a walkie-talkie. I mean, you're missing a lot of subtle cues watching it in video village than if you were to actually get involved. Get in with your actors, feel more personal, open up that actor-director communication. I mean, when there's that intimate experience between you and your actors, you're going to get a much more authentic and personable, result when you're working with your actors, and you can have better collaboration and you can give notes and you can pick up on a lot more subtle things than if, you're just superficially hiding behind Video Village. Now, yeah, you're going to want to, maybe take a portable handheld monitor that you can bring with you and watch, or, maybe run the scene back, play it back, and watch it that way. But no matter what, you really want to be right there in the thick of it with your actors. I mean, you're directing this movie, right? So get out there and direct it. Editing is not magic, and there are some things that you can't fix. And I used to like to live by the example of, we'll fix it on set, until I heard something even better from a very, very wise man named Michael Render. And what Michael Render said that sticks with me to this day and is the thing that I absolutely live by is fix it in pre. And he couldn't be more right. See, the truth is, if you fail to plan, then you have planned to fail. You need to come in with a solid strategy. What does that mean? That means that you've broken down your script. You might not know exactly how long each scene is going to take. You might not know exactly how long each shot is going to take. And you might not know exactly when you're going to wrap to the minute. But what you should have is you should have a pretty solid estimate on that. So get out your shot list. What are the shots that you need to tell this story? And make sure that you're getting those most important shots covered first. Then, if you have extra time, you can go back and you can experiment and you can play and you can have a little fun improvising and adapting, right? But you shouldn't be coming onto set and trying to wing out your shot list on the fly without already having a game plan. Now, part of that fixing it in pre also has to do with directing your actors, right? If the first time your actors are interacting with each other and reading their lines together is when you're on set and the cameras are rolling, that could be a problem. You know, I understand in indie film, you might not have the time or the budget to all get together on location and block and rehearse the whole scene. Okay. But you might have a scene with a lot of dialogue that maybe you could, at the very least, start a Zoom call or a Discord conference and get your actors all together and run those lines and rehearse it. And then you can already start preparing some notes for your actors and talk to them about some of the way that you'd like them to deliver their lines even before coming to set. And it's gonna help things run that much smoother while you're actually on set and the cameras are rolling and you're getting your takes. Now look, I really hope that by watching this you don't get the wrong idea. I never want to claim to be that guy who knows everything, and though these 5 tips have definitely helped me out becoming a better director myself, the truth is I don't know everything and I don't ever want to claim to know everything. We are always learning, we are always growing, and the reality is we have to make mistakes in order to learn and in order to grow. But I do hope that by sharing these 5 tips of becoming a better director, it can help you out along your journey. And maybe if you're getting ready for that big shoot and you're getting the preset jitters, maybe this can calm your nerves just a little bit. But anyway, guys, that's all that I have for you here today. Remember, if you like this content and you want to see even more videos on independent filmmaking, then be sure that you subscribe, that you like this video, and don't forget to turn that bell on for notifications so you don't miss any content on the Franz Productions YouTube channel. And if you're a director and you have some advice that you'd like to share, then go ahead and down in the comments, share some extra tips that I might not have mentioned that can help other people become a better director. Remember, we're all learning and we're all growing together as a community. Anyway, guys, once again, I hope you enjoyed this content, but until next time, as always, that's a wrap.